in December, early December. One night, I'm coming home from work, and I'm super tired. Now, I don't know why I was so tired. I only worked a 9 to 5 shift at my full-time job. I also have a part-time job, and I often work doubles. So I'll work in the morning at my part-time job, and then have a couple-hour break, and then have to go to my full-time job at night. But this was a day that I just worked at my full-time job, 9 a.m. to 5:45 p.m. And I'm coming home from work, and I'm mad tired. You know, we've all been there, let's be honest, where you're driving and you're super tired and you can't seem to keep your eyes open. I was having one of those days, okay? But who knew I would legit pass out at the fucking wheel? Okay, that's what happened. I was driving, and I literally, I swear to God, slapped myself a few times. I was like, come on, stay awake, brother, just make it home. And I'm coming down this long stretch, and there's this one part where it kind of curves, and I don't know when, but at some point, I crashed. This has never happened before. I mean, even when I lay in my bed, it takes me at least 5 minutes to actually fall asleep after closing my eyes. But nope, I'm driving along, and all of a sudden, I'm asleep. So what happened was, I was asleep, and then I went off, and then and I wake up, and I'm, whoa, and I'm fucking off the side of the road. Luckily it had snowed, and I was in the snow, so that slowed my car down pretty fast. And man, I was so lucky. So what ended up happening was there was a guardrail that came up right before that curve. It comes up off the ground, and I had went over it right as the guardrail comes up, and my car went up and over the side, and then now I'm driving straight, but on the other side of the guardrail, like along with the road, but on the other side of the guardrail, and I went straight. Now, luckily, like I said, it had snowed. I mean, I wasn't injured at all. Like, when I mean at all, there wasn't a scratch or an ache or anything. And even when I was in the ambulance, and they were just checking me out, making sure I was okay, they were like, oh, the next day you might feel sore or whatever. Which actually happened to me in the car accident I was in on July 4th last year, which I talked about in another podcast. But I was like, no, I feel perfectly fine, and I did. But I mean, it was bad enough that the airbags freaking came out. I was just like, I was in shock, but I was like, you know what? That was actually kind of peaceful, because I was asleep for the first half of what just happened. And the guy behind me pulled over, and he's like, man, are you okay? And he's like, don't worry, I've already called 911. He was like, I was about to call 911 before you went off the side of the road, because you had swerved off a couple times. I was like, shit, really? I was literally falling asleep at the wheel. This never happened to me before. So obviously, ambulance, police, fire department comes. It smelled like gas. There's gas coming from somewhere. Well, obviously my car, but leaking from the bottom of my car or something. And yeah, it was, and it's like, when something like that happens to you, you just sit there and you're like, man, if I had just kept my fucking eyes open, I could have made it home. If I had just, it's one of those situations where something bad happens when a small change in your decisions could have completely not made all that happen. So you're just sitting there like, man, if I just fucking, yeah. But it's like, you can't do that to yourself. You can't beat yourself up like that, because you know why? It's already happened. It's already happened. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do about it now is think about what are your next steps. Now, I've never, ever, ever, ever been in a situation like this. I've been in a car accident with somebody else driving, but I've never personally destroyed my car. Now, my car was towed to a place. It took a few days for my insurance to get out there and to check it out and see if the car is worth fixing or not, if it's totaled or not. Turns out the car was totaled. I had fucked up the bottom of my car, cracked the fucking I think I cracked the engine or something. I don't know. Something cracked. And he was like, you know, he's like, just from what I saw, it would have been about $9,000 to fix it. And that's not considering, you know, taking it to a shop and, you know, they'll probably find other things that need to be fixed as well. You know, when the car is only worth, I don't know, I forget how much he said, $6,000 or whatever, so, like I said, I don't know how this works. Obviously, I finally figured it out. So what happens when you total a car is your insurance looks at it, says, is it going to cost more to fix it than what the car is worth? If so, we'll give you what the car is currently worth. Well, before the wreck. We'll give you what the car was worth before you wrecked it, which for me was about $6,000. And unfortunately, wasn't enough to cover what I still owed on the car. So I was like, fuck. And he's like, well, do you have gap insurance? I was like, I have no idea. Now, I actually found out today, as of I'm recording this on Thursday, the 19th. I just found out today that I actually did get gap insurance. Thank fucking me from 2016 or whenever I got that car, for agreeing to pay for that, because that's going to cover the rest of what I owe. I thought I was going to have to continue paying for this car even though it was fucking totaled, and then also have to look for paying for another car. But now, luckily, I don't have to worry about that. This car is going to be paid off, and I'm looking into, I should be getting another car within the next couple weeks, so I'm excited for that. So, you know, there's always, you have to look at the positives of a situation. You know what? Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it really sucked at the time. Having to find rides to work every day, and it's just a shitty situation that could have easily been avoided. And, you know, like I said, I was sitting there like, man, if I had just stopped at that gas station back there and got some kind of caffeinated drink, I probably would have been fine. I probably would still have my car right now. But guess what? You don't. And then it was like the next day, man, the next day I woke up, I was like, all right, so that was a dream, right? And I literally looked out my window and I was like, okay, car's not there. Wasn't a dream. Shit. Anyway, but positive thing comes out of it. I'm getting a new car. It's going to be even better than my last car. It was really sad saying goodbye to my car. Do I have a picture of it? It doesn't look like my car was damaged at all, really, because most of the damage happened underneath. I didn't mean to just flip you off. I'm still trying to find the photo of my car. Oh, here it is. So, as you can see, like right there, you can kind of see some damage, you know? And the tire was completely fucking flat. That shit was fucked. And, yeah. But that's really it. That's all you can see from the outside of it. And then I had another picture of the other side, which you can't even tell anything was wrong with it. Man, it was so sad saying goodbye to that car. Coupie, man. Rest in peace, Coupie. But it was the coupe version of a Hyundai Elantra 2013. Well, it was a great car, but you know what? I'm excited for my new car. I've already got a couple picked out that I'm just waiting for enough of a down payment to have, which within the next couple of weeks I should have, and then I'll have a car, brand new, bada bing, bada boom. You'll probably hear me talk about that when I get it.